Last time, to remind you, sister, we've been asking the very fundamental question about the status of Muslim women in Islam. The woman status in Islam. There is fundamental questions. We asked them last time. Just to remind you, we asked those, what was the status of women before Islam? And we had the answer with our witness, Umar bin Khattab, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. The other question was what Islam gives women, and I think we have to stand still with this question and to ask what kind of rights Islam gave in the past and still gives to women, because we are Muslims and we have to live upon our main resources of Islam, Quran and Sunnah. And Quran suits all times and all places. So what was perfect in the first days of Islam, it should be perfect now, and it should be perfect in the future. To say that what rights being given, all the rights being given to women in the first days of Islam, it should not be given today because time changed. Well, this is absolutely none. We should not accept such thing, because again, as Muslims, all Muslims actually believe that Islam suits all time and all places. To say that we have to stop giving women their right upon the ground that time is changed, well, this is exactly in contrast with the message of Islam and our belief as well. So again, what kind of rights? Okay, to mention, we have to remind you, you have to go back to the first 33 verses of the chapter of women, Surah An-Nisa. Well, to mention actually, the first thing, and here I have to say immediately, the first thing Islam have done, first, stop major killing of women. So, Islam stepped forward and to say to Jahiliyyah people, to the unbeliever, the first thing you have to do, the first minute you step into Islam, you have to help women to live, to give them the right of life, to live freely their life. So two things, giving their life back, the right of life again back. The second thing, to live freely as everybody else in Islam. So Islam, to mention that point clearly Islam against slavery in all its kinds, whether it is hidden or clear kind. This is important, and we are coming back to this point later on, inshallah. To carry on, the second thing that Islam gives to women, which is all the ugly practice being exercised against women should be stopped. And we mentioned the practice of adl. What is adl? Ayn, da, lam, da, la. This is the verb in Arabic, 3 letters. Da, la. What is the meaning of adala? Adala is to have control above. How was that? Again, it was a habit. The minute that any woman loses her father or her husband, the male relative will step in immediately, rushing, because it is something that they've been eager for. They step forward, again, rushing, and those male will be really like in a competition. Who will do it first? Throwing their garments upon her head and her shoulders. Why is that? It is a sign to say, she is mine. Whatever she owns is mine. So she plus what she owns is mine. So if she was beautiful enough, he's going to marry her, regardless of his age, whatever. Even sometimes she may be his stepmother. In some Arabian tribes near Al-Medina, that era, they used to do such thing, and they won't even feel ashamed. And again, if she's beautiful, he's going to marry her. But if she is not, she wasn't lucky enough, well, he is going to make sure that no one will propose to her in future, to make sure that whatever she owns is his mine, and no one to share him such unexpected source of money. So Islam stepped forward and said, no, such practice is not okay. It is not accepted. It is not permitted, not anymore, not under Islam's umbrella. The other thing is to give new rights. So what Islam did first, the practices which totally against humanity had to be stopped. Okay, this is step one. Second step, what is missing should be given. How is that? Well, the first thing to pave the way, gradually. Again, gradually. It should not be done at once. Why is that? Because people, they are not ready to receive such new rulings. And it is absolutely against what they used to live upon. So the first thing to be said, that she is equal to you. You and her being from nafsin wahida. What is the meaning of that? Well, we have to move to this. First, mentioning women. And I don't know, subhanAllah. Well, I step back to this point first. And to start with the very small things. Because if you want to change things gradually, you don't only focus on the big things. Because some small things may amount to a huge, dangerous practices. Again, like what? First of all, according to Arab, it is a shame to mention women's name. Even now. Some people, even now, till now, they won't do it. I received some call, and she is in the step of printing their card invitation for their wedding, card wedding. And her groom, he is absolutely stubborn on the point of mentioning her name in the card. He's educated, but he's Arab. He's Muslim, but still, he's Arab. So, Arab mentality should be first. So he said to her, no way, you can't mention your name. It should not be written. So instead, we can use the word kalimatuhu, his precious thing. Come on. Still practiced. Although Islam, from the first moment, mentioned woman's name, mentioned the very important name in Christianity and Islam, Mary. Maryam, and a whole chapter being named by her name. The other thing, a whole chapter under the name of women and nisa. So it's okay to mention women in general and as individual. It is okay to mention that his wife done such and such, and we have similar verses to refer to some wives of prophets. Again, mentioning women names and even mentioning women is not against Islam. Islam look at men and women to be equal. As long as it is okay to mention men, why not to mention women? The other thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded people with the very first moment in their life, their creation. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuhan nas, إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. The meaning, mankind, we have created you from single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, that ye may know each other. And despite that, not that ye may despise each other, each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the one who is the most righteous of you. So regardless of your sex, you've been created from one soul, male and female. So there is no ground to refer to in creation moment to say that men being in the upper hand or being superior because they've been created differently. No. Both being created from one soul, and to be continued, inshallah.